3 years married, 3 years of separate plates because my husband was a germ freak. Fine. Until I walked into a restaurant one night and found him sharing a meal with his brand new little assistant. She pushed her plate away. Halfway through, he pulled it over and finished everything she left. Every last bite. I didn't say a word. Not then. The next day, I organized a group dinner. When everyone was done, I scraped all their leftovers onto his plate. Go on, I said. You hate wasting food, right? He didn't say a word, but his assistant sure did. Mrs. Miller, you've been a stay-at-home wife for 3 years, she said. You swipe his card on whatever you want and never even glance at the total. All because of him. And you're gonna embarrass him over something this tiny? That's just low. I wasn't even mad. I just looked at her and said, "You're fired." My husband, always so gentle, so composed, slammed his hand on the table and stood up. For the first time in our marriage, he raised his voice at me. "Emma Miller, you don't have the right to fire my employee." I laughed softly. Once a man goes bad, there's no point in keeping him. I'll just get another one. My husband Jason Miller suddenly called to say he had to work late and couldn't have dinner with me. Just then my best friend Jessica Taylor texted asking if I wanted to grab dinner. We decided to hit up a casual place nearby. Walking past a restaurant, my friend pointed to a table near the window. "Doesn't that guy look like your husband?" I looked closely. Even though it was just a back view, I recognized Jason instantly. Across from him sat his new assistant, Sophia Davis, who had joined the company less than a month ago. Sophia frowned slightly, staring sadly at the half-eaten plate of food in front of her. Jason gave a doting smile, pulled her plate over, and shoveled the leftovers into his mouth in a few bites, finishing every last bit. I froze. Jason had a full-blown germ phobia. 3 years of marriage, and we couldn't even eat off the same plate. One time, I gave him a piece of fish with my own fork by accident. He scraped the whole plate into the trash, didn't touch another bite. And sex? He suited up like he was going into a blow hazard zone. Multiple layers, every single time. So yeah, 3 years in. No baby. No surprise there. I pushed open the door and stared at the empty plate in front of him. Tastes good. The tenderness in Jason's eyes vanished, replaced by pure panic. "Honey." Sophia couldn't finish, and I didn't want to waste it. "Don't make it weird. Didn't you say you were working late? Done already." Last minute change on the project. Turns out I didn't need to stay. "Mrs. Miller, you've never had a real job. Stuff like this happens all the time." I looked at Sophia Davis. "Was I talking to you? Why are you butting in?" Sophia's face instantly crumpled into a pitiful look. Jason took my hand. "Come on, honey. The kid was hungry, so I took her out to eat. She's just a work colleague. Don't scare her." Sophia gently tugged at Jason's sleeve. "Mr. Miller, I'm full. Can you drive me home? It's hard to get a cab this time of night." Jason looked at me. "You're not mad, are you? Let me just drop Sophia off first." "Go ahead." Jason immediately left with Sophia, without looking back. I pretended nothing had happened and kept eating and shopping with my best friend. The next day, just before quitting time, I burst into the executive office. Everyone shut it down. "You're all leaving early today. Dinner's on me." No one moved. Not until Jason said, "Go ahead. Knock off," did they finally put down their work and follow me to the restaurant. The meal was actually nice. When the last person set down their fork, I asked, "Everyone done?" They all nodded. I waved a waiter over, had him bring a large plate, and set it in front of Jason. Then I stood up and scraped every leftover scrap from everyone's plates onto the plate in front of him. It piled up fast. Jason just stared at me, confused. I smiled at him. "Go ahead. Eat up. You hate wasting food, don't you? So finish what the whole executive team left behind." The pressure in the private room dropped instantly. Jason's face darkened. "Honey, I'm already full. You're not leaving until you clean that plate." Sophia shot to her feet. "Mrs. Miller, you've spent 3 years sitting at home, buying whatever you want, never once looking at a price tag, all on Mr. Miller's dime. And now you want to humiliate him over something this stupid? That's just pathetic." Watching her little face turn red with anger, I laughed. "Honey, eat up. How come you can eat Sophia's leftovers, but you turn up your nose at the other employees? Playing favorites." Jason looked at me, then at the huge bowl of leftovers. After a moment's hesitation, he picked up his chopsticks and started shoveling the food into his mouth. Sophia shrieked, "Mr. Miller, stop. You'll make yourself sick. Why do you listen to her? What right does a woman who doesn't earn a single cent have to boss you around?" Sophia snatched the chopsticks from Jason's hand. "Don't eat it. She doesn't care about you, but I do. You care so much about my husband? Fine, you eat it for him." "I can't eat that much. You're just trying to make me miserable." "Then shut your mouth." I grabbed another fork and handed it to Jason. "Eat up. Isn't this what you love?" Jason took the chopsticks and kept stuffing food into his mouth, unable to swallow, gagging the whole time. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore. He bent over and threw up. Sophia cried in sympathy, patting Jason's back while glaring at me. "You don't deserve to be Mrs. Miller at all. You don't do anything for him except cause problems and make things worse. If I don't, then you do? Trying to move in on my husband already. Mr. Miller and I have a completely professional relationship. Don't make things up. Then prove it. Why don't you quit?" "Why would I quit? I'm good at my job." "You're fired." Sophia froze, then put on a tearful act, her voice trembling as she drew out, "Mr. Miller." Jason, who had never raised his voice at me, suddenly slammed the table and stood up. "Emma, you have no right to fire my employee. I walked straight up to Sophia and slapped her twice. Bitch. I don't have a title in this company, so fine. I can't fire her. But as your wife, I have every right to slap her. Jason immediately pulled the sobbing Sophia into his arms. Emma, that's way out of line. Maybe before, he'd felt a little guilty about being caught eating Sophia's leftovers. Now that guilt was gone. I've spoiled you way too much. That's why you think you can pull this crap. So here's your punishment. I'm canceling every single one of your cards. Sophia, who had been crying a second ago, heard that and practically smiled. The corners of her mouth twitched up. Isn't that a little extreme, Mr. Miller? Mrs. Miller was the one treating everyone tonight. If you cancel all her cards, how's she supposed to pay? This meal's gotta be at least $1,000. That's more than enough for them to call the cops. If Mrs. Miller can't pay, she could literally get arrested. Jason took a deep breath. Emma, apologize to Sophia, and I'll let the whole thing go. Apologize to her? Are you out of your mind? Sophia pretended to be the peacemaker. Mr. Miller, I really don't want to cause issues between you two. I'm just an assistant. I'm used to taking the heat. Mrs. Miller, this is all on me. Please don't be mad at him. I'm sorry. Sophia made a show of grabbing my wrist, but really she just pinched the hell out of me. I yanked my arm back. Get off me. I barely pushed her. Barely. And she went stumbling backward like I'd shoved her off a balcony. She hit the table, dishes went flying, and she went down hard, covered in God knows what. She hit the table, dishes crashed everywhere, and she went down hard, landing in a pile of food and who knows what else. A broken plate cut her hand, and next thing I knew, there was blood all over the floor. Emma, you've gone too far. Jason raised his hand and slapped me. My head snapped to the side. I licked the bloody taste from the corner of my mouth and suddenly felt relieved. Are you seriously blind? She dug her nails into me. I barely touched her. She threw herself on the floor. Auto added to the library. Jason helped Sophia up from the floor and used the SNK scarf FA given him for his birthday, the one with his name that I'd embroidered myself to wrap her bleeding hand. Now those two letters were stained red with Sophia's blood. Let's go. He put his arm around Sophia's shoulder and left without looking back. Everyone else made excuses and rushed out as fast as they could. I was the only one left in the huge private room. The waiter knocked and came in. Can I get you the check? I pulled a card out of my purse. I've got it. He swiped it. Sorry, ma'am. This card was declined. I handed him another. Declined all 7 cards. Not one of them worked. Jason had actually canceled every single card I had. The waiter just stared at me. Ma'am, do you have another way to pay? I tried calling my best friend, but she wasn't answering her phone or replying to my texts. The waiter and I stood there, awkwardly. Don't worry, I will pay. The waiter had had enough. He grabbed his radio. Manager, we've got someone trying to skip out on the check. The restaurant manager came back with a cop. Ma'am, you need to come with us. I tried to explain to the police, but they saw it as excuses. I was taken to the Fairview police station for a statement. Finally, Jessica called me back. 20 minutes later, she arrived at the station and paid the bill. I was released. I looked back at the police station and suddenly laughed. The sole heir of the Apex Group, arrested because I couldn't pay a restaurant bill. How embarrassing. My dream used to be being a kept wife. Now I realized that being a kept wife was harder than being a powerful businesswoman. I'd chosen wrong from the start. When I got home, there was a pair of women's high heels by the door. Exactly the one Sophia had worn today. Jason heard the noise and came out of the bedroom, and our eyes met. I didn't say a word. I rushed straight into the bedroom. There was Sophia, bare-legged, wearing Jason's white dress shirt. The shirt barely covered her waist, her thong peeking out. She was drying her hair. Clearly, she had just showered in my master bathroom. You got your own wife thrown in jail, then brought your assistant home. Real upgrade, Jason. Don't make this into something it's not. Sophia's clothes got dirty. The hotel was right there. I just brought her up to shower and change. And since you hate people touching your stuff, I told her to wear mine. He had this smug look on his face, like I was the one being crazy. Aren't you a germaphobe? We can't even wash our clothes together. But she can wear yours? So your thing only applies to me. Sophia launched into her usual act. Mrs. Miller, don't get the wrong idea. Mr. Miller said I could keep the shirt. He's not going to wear it anymore. Was I talking to you? Why do you keep inserting yourself into our conversation? Sophia's eyes welled up like she was about to cry. I just didn't want you to misunderstand, Mr. Miller. How sweet of you. Jason snapped at me. That's enough, Emma. You ran your mouth at the restaurant, and now you're starting up again at home. I yelled back. You think I wanted this? Sophia tugged at Jason's sleeve. Forget it, Mr. Miller. She's your wife. I'm just an assistant. I don't mind being treated like this. She's my wife, yeah, but that doesn't mean she gets to push you around. Divorce, Jason. Jason froze. What did you just say? I said divorce. You want to divorce me over something this stupid? You think this is stupid? Sophia and I haven't done anything wrong. She's a young girl just starting out. What's so bad about me being nice to her? I don't want my husband taking care of other women. It makes me sick. Jason looked like someone had just pulled the rug out from under him. He exploded. Fine. You want a divorce? Then you walk away with nothing. My money, my house, none of it has anything to do with you. Without me, you'll be eating cup noodles on the sidewalk. He angrily called his lawyer and had a divorce agreement drawn up. It arrived fast. I signed it without thinking twice. Seeing me sign, Jason signed without hesitating either. Sophia tried not to smile. Emma, after you and Mr. Miller divorce, you probably won't even be able to afford food. I pointed at the door. Get the hell out of here. Why should I get out? Mr. Miller hasn't told me to. We haven't even signed the papers yet. I still live here. Get the hell out. Now. Jason pulled Sophia into his arms. This is my house. If anyone's leaving, it's you. He told the staff to throw all my stuff out. My things piled up by the door like a small mountain. Calmly, I pulled out my phone and texted a group chat. Uncles. I'm divorced. Jason just threw me out. The group exploded. Messages lit up the screen. That little shit dares to kick our niece out? He's forgotten who put him there. We built him up. We can tear him down just as fast. How dare he do this to Emma? The guy's got a death wish. Enough talking. Time to move. I stood at the entrance of Oakwood Manor, watching the messages fly by. Sophia stood in the doorway, arms crossed, watching me. Still here? Is it because you can't bear to leave? I mean, let's be real. You're not just losing this place. You'll probably never even see a house this big and fancy again. Just as she was gloating, a vehicle from the district attorney's office pulled up. When Jason and Sophia saw the DA's car stop in front of the villa, they were stunned. Several prosecutors got out. We are hereby seizing this villa by law. No one may remove anything inside. They put a seal on the front gate. Jason blocked them. On what grounds are you seizing my home? Who gave you the right? Here are our credentials and the seizure order. Someone has reported you for embezzling public assets through your position. We are legally freezing all your assets, not just this villa. Every asset in your name will be frozen. Jason was shocked. How is that possible? Who reported me? Do you have any proof? All senior executives of Apex Group jointly filed a report, and we have strong evidence. All the senior executives? That's impossible. His phone rang. Mr. Miller, the board just voted unanimously to remove you. You're suspended, effective immediately. What? On what grounds? After hanging up, Jason paced furiously, the veins bulging on his forehead. Sophia was scared by the sudden turn. Mr. Miller, what's going on? Why is your house being seized? Is someone behind this? Jason was frantic. Those old mans usually do what they're told. Why are they all coming after me at once? When did they get so united? Something's fishy. My driver arrived. Miss Wilson, sorry I'm late. Traffic was a bit heavy. No problem. I wasn't in a hurry anyway. I was enjoying the show. Let me put your things in the car. Don't bother with all that. Just put these few items in the car. Jason stared. You have a driver? Why did he call you Miss Wilson? I was Miss Wilson long before I married you. What, you thought just because my dad handed you the reins, the company was yours? Newsflash, Apex Group is still a Wilson family business. You didn't seriously think you could push me out, did you? The chairman, with 50% of the shares. How do you own half of Apex? What, you think my father was stupid enough to give the shares to an outsider? Dad said that after I had been in the CEO position for 3 years, his shares would automatically transfer to me. Last month was my 3-year anniversary. That contract should have gone into effect. Are you stupid? To transfer Dad's shares to you, I have to sign. I didn't sign, so that contract is worthless. What's more, the contract specifically says that if we divorce, the will is void and the shares go directly to me. Nice. You and your old man played me. I busted my ass for you all these years, and for what? Nothing. You got something. I looked at Sophia. You got the girl. Jason's face went green. I kept going. You should be thanking me. You had 3 good years. From the outside, everyone thought I needed you. But really? You needed my family. You're a kept man. You should have stayed in your lane. But after 3 years of playing CEO, you actually started believing you were the one in charge. Remember, you're just a kept husband. Without me, Emma Wilson, you're nothing. Without me, you'd still be some low-level sales rep somewhere. I chose you because you had drive, and I thought you could help run the group. Plus, you were good-looking, cleaner than the male models. If you'd just been a faithful husband, maybe I would have given you what you wanted. But you've disappointed me too much. Jason's face got uglier by the second. I went on. You should have kept pretending. Maybe if you'd held out a few more months, I would have signed that contract. Then you'd have the shares, and it would have cost me some real effort to take you down. Your mistake was losing patience and blowing your cover too soon. Jason was completely dumbfounded. The board's revolt, it was because of you? Yes. The directors are basically all my uncles. They built this company with my father. They're his closest friends, and they treat me like family. The only reason they went along with you was because of me. You actually thought they respected you as CEO? Please. It's because you married into the Wilson family. Otherwise, you really think you could push around guys who've been in this game for decades? You're way too full of yourself. Jason grabbed his hair, his face bright red. Sophia still hadn't grasped the situation. Mr. Miller, what does she mean? What does she mean Apex Group belongs to? The Wilsons? Why does she have so many shares? Didn't you learn the company's history when you joined? If you paid any attention during training, you'd know that. Apex was founded by Mr. Wilson, my father, Robert Wilson. Sophia's jaw dropped. Didn't you say I don't have the right to fire you? I looked at Jason. And you said I don't have the right to fire your employee. Tomorrow I officially take over Apex Group as the new chairman. I'll announce the decision to fire you both in front of all the senior executives. And I'll issue a blacklist across the entire industry. Any company that does business with Apex will not be allowed to hire either of you. That's what you get for messing with me. Sophia immediately grabbed Jason. Mr. Miller, she's bluffing, right? She can't blacklist me from the whole industry, and You're not really out, are you? Jason's face went from red to white. Honey, I think we need to talk. Stop right there. We already signed the papers. Don't call me honey. We signed them, but we don't have the certificate yet. We're still married. And honestly, I was just trying to scare you. Never actually wanted a divorce. So you threw all my stuff out and canceled my cards just to scare me? I was angry. Please forgive me. I'll have your cards reinstated right now. I don't need your crappy cards anymore. And your assets are frozen anyway, so those cards are useless. I took his cards out of my purse and flicked them at him one by one. Take them back. Then I got into the car that had come for me. As the door closed, Jason lunged. Honey, get out. Don't go. Let's talk. My door was already locked. He couldn't open it. The car drove away, leaving Jason standing helplessly. The driver took me to the old Wilson estate. This was a property my father had left me. Better location than Jason's villa. And much bigger. It looked like something out of a fairy tale. A huge stone estate with turrets and ivy. It had more servants than I could count on 2 hands. Gardeners, maids, private chefs, a butler. Even security. Comfortable and safe. Still, sleeping in a new place felt strange. I remembered how I first met Jason. He was a fresh graduate trying to make his first sale. He was so desperate he even threw himself in front of a manager's car. Even after getting scraped by the car, he got right back up, limping, to pitch his product. I liked his fearless drive. I thought he could manage a big group for me. That way I could do what I loved, travel, garden, be a woman of leisure. I wasn't wrong about his ability. He did manage the group well. Sure, sometimes he used his position for personal gain, but I looked the other way. My only request was that while being CEO, he also be a faithful husband. Clearly, he couldn't do that. Since he couldn't, I'd find someone who could. The next morning, I put on a sharp business suit. I left on time and drove to group headquarters. When I walked into the meeting room, all the directors and senior executives were already seated. The moment I stepped in, thunderous applause broke out. Everyone's face beamed with excitement. My uncles had always told me they were waiting for me to come back. 2 minutes after I arrived, Jason showed up with Sophia trailing behind. I stood at the head of the table. Everyone's here. I now formally announce the board's appointment. Starting today, I take over as chairman of Apex Group. Former CEO Jason Miller is removed for embezzlement. Executive Assistant Sofla Davis is terminated for falsifying her educational credentials, which fails to meet the group's hiring standards. Sophia was stunned. She never thought I'd find out about her fake degree. She tried to argue, but at the words falsifying her educational credentials, she went silent. Jason was also shocked. Your degree is fake? Sophia's face turned red. Mr. Miller, I can explain. I did get into a top university, but I couldn't finish for medical reasons. If you want to explain, do it outside. This is an Apex Group executive meeting. You've both been fired, so please leave immediately, and Jason, clear your things out of the CEO's office right away. I'm moving in. If your stuff isn't gone by the time this meeting ends, I'll have someone throw it out. I called security and had the 2 of them forcibly removed. After the meeting, I went to the executive office and found that Jason and Sophia hadn't left. They hadn't even packed. I laughed and told my assistant, have someone clear out both of their things. My new assistant was a handsome 6'1" guy who graduated from Harvard. My uncles had hired him specially for me. I walked over to Sophia's desk. Your desks are so close. Why don't you just push them together? I picked up a photo frame on her desk. It was a cozy picture of her and Jason. Putting something like this in your cubicle, anyone would think you're Mrs. Miller. Sophia snatched the frame from my hand. Don't touch my stuff. I'm not Mrs. Miller yet, but I will be. Then I hope your dream comes true. Jason pushed Sophia aside. Honey, don't listen to her. I'm not divorcing you, and I'm definitely not marrying her. I only said yes because I was pissed. I never actually wanted one. I know I took it too far. I'll fire Sophia. You can run things at work and at home. Whatever you want. It's not your call anymore. Sophia's already fired. So are you. You don't get a say. My assistant had already brought people to clear out Jason and Sophia's things. You always thought you were so capable that you got where you are on your own merit. Fine. Go out there and see how far your ability takes you. This is your chance to prove yourself. You should be happy. Soon their things were all thrown out. Jason looked like he was about to cry. Emma, we were married for 3 years. You can't be this cold. Just because I was nice to a new assistant, you're divorcing me and kicking me out of company? Isn't that a little extreme? Yes, exactly. Because you were nice to your little assistant, I'm divorcing you and throwing you out. You, Jason Miller, got where you are because of me. You climbed to the top of Apex and stayed there because you were my husband. I put up with all your weird rules, separate plates, serving forks, washing our clothes separately. And in bed, you wrapped yourself up like you were handling toxic waste. You said it was a germ thing. Fine. I accepted. But how does a man with a germ phobia eat leftovers off some assistant's plate? And why would he bring her home, let her use our bathroom, and put her in his own white shirt? I blurted all of it out in front of the whole executive office staff. The colleagues who had looked at Jason and Sophia with sympathy now changed their expressions. They looked at the 2 with disgust and contempt, even a bit of anger at being deceived. Jason, maybe you never liked me from the start. You married me just to climb higher. Living with me was like punching a time clock. Putting your phobia aside, I admit you were a decent husband for 3 years. And I paid you what you were owed. I don't owe you, and you don't owe me. We're even. Jason's face was ashen. He couldn't stand the way his colleagues were looking at him, so he kept his head down. Sophia, still full of herself, said, Emma, if Jason doesn't love you, maybe you should take a look in the mirror. You're bossy and cold. I'm not like that. I actually care about him, so of course he wants to be good to me. That's because we're on totally different levels. You're trying to climb up the ladder, so obviously you have to kiss his ass. While I'm already at the top, I don't need to suck up to anyone. That's the biggest difference between us. That's not true. The truth is you don't love Jason. I'm the only one who truly loves him. If you truly love him, then after he's convicted of embezzlement, has all his assets seized, and goes to prison for a nice stay, I hope you'll still stand by him like you do now. What? Jason will have everything taken away and go to prison? That's impossible. You're just trying to scare me. Then wait and see. Jason was terrified. He knew very well what dirty things he had done. He suddenly fell to his knees, grabbing my hand, and begging, Emma, come on. Think about the 3 years we had. Think about how well I ran the company. Just give me a way out. Please. I can't go to prison. If I go to prison, my life is over. I pulled my hand away. Begging isn't going to do anything. The law doesn't care. If you give back everything you took, maybe you'll get a lighter sentence. But I invested all that money. I lost it. Even if I sell everything I own, it won't be enough. I glanced at Sophia. You have your little girlfriend. Let her help make up the difference. I don't have any money. I'm just an employee. I haven't even been here a full month. I haven't gotten a paycheck yet. Mr. Miller, is it really as bad as she says? She's probably just bluffing. Sophia tried to pull him up. Get up. Don't kneel to her. The floor's cold. Jason shoved her away. Get off me. Emma, I'll sell everything I have to pay the debt. I'll pay back the rest little by little. I just don't want to go to prison. Please give me one more chance. When you canceled all my cards and left me stranded at that restaurant, did it ever cross your mind that I might get arrested for skipping out on the check? No? You just wanted to scare me? And even after you canceled everything, I still found a way to pay. I have friends. I always figure it out. I got humiliated by a waiter and hauled down to the police station all because I couldn't pay a check. You took every bit of my dignity. Now you get to learn your lesson. So stop begging me. Go find yourself a good lawyer and pray toss a lighter sentence. Jason collapsed onto the floor in despair. He knew I wouldn't cut him any slack. Sophia crouched beside him. Don't say that, Mr. Miller. I know you're the most capable man I've ever met. You'll get through this. Jason was crying. He grabbed Sophia like a drowning man reaching for a lifeline. Sophia, if I lose everything, will you still stay with me? Of course I will. I truly love you, Jason. Good. Then sell the bags and jewelry I gave you and use the money to help pay my debts. I don't have a place to live. I'll move in with you. Sophia's face froze. Are you serious, Jason? You want the gifts you gave me back? My apartment's tiny. We can't both fit in there. Your parents must still have something, even if your accounts are frozen. We'll stay at their place. Don't worry, I'll stick with you, no matter how bad things get. I laughed out loud. His parents' house? You wish. All of his parents' assets are frozen too. They're also from shady sources. Don't kid yourself. Jason is a penniless loser who owes millions. Sophia slowly loosened her grip on Jason's hand. You really have nothing? Jason was stunned. Sophia, what do you mean? Didn't you say you'd stay with me and help me rebuild even if I lost everything? You owe a ton of money and Apex fired you. How are you supposed to rebuild? Sophia stood up angrily. I thought you were a real CEO. Turns out you're just a kept man who married into a rich family. What a waste of my time. You're not a CEO at all. Stop pretending. You never owned Apex. Jason's eyes widened in shock. He slowly got to his feet. Sophia, what are you saying? Was all your sweetness just because of my money and status? Sophia put her hands on her hips. Who doesn't want a successful guy so they can live easy? I'm young and hot. Of course. I should marry someone who's made it. A girl like me belongs with a CEO. But now you're broke? Why would I suffer through that with you? Once you start struggling, you never stop. I need man who lifts me up, someone with a black card I can swipe all day. Not some ungrateful loser who mooches off a woman and then turns around and stabs her in the back. Jason, humiliated and furious, slapped Sophia. You gold digger. You ruined me. Gold digger? What did I dig from you? Everything you gave me adds up to less than $1 million. Jason got even angrier. He grabbed Sophia by the throat. I'll kill you, you bitch. They started fighting. Jason shoved Sophia to the ground. She screamed. Blood pooled under her skirt. Everyone in the room was shocked. Sophia curled up like a shrimp, clutching her stomach in pain. Jason staggered back 2 steps. You're having a miscarriage? I never touched you. Whose bastard are you carrying? I had someone take Sophia to the hospital. Jason was taken away by the police for assault. Sophia lost the baby. Whose it was, I didn't care. A month later, I got the divorce certificate from Jason. Soon after the embezzlement case concluded, all of Jason's assets went to compensate the group, but he was still in debt. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Sophia disappeared. Later I heard she couldn't find a job, so her parents called her back to their small town and married her off to some local thug. She became a stepmom. I slowly got over the divorce. At a class reunion, I reconnected with my high school desk mate. He now held an important position on Wall Street, a true top-tier talent. We dated, got married, and now, 3 years later, I'm 8 months pregnant. One day, my husband and I were picking up baby supplies at a store when I saw that familiar face again. He was scavenging trash on the street. My husband and I stood at the store entrance with our shopping bags. Our eyes met. He looked at my belly, opened his mouth slightly, but in the end said nothing. My husband asked, "Know him?" I shook my head, took my husband's arm, and just said, "Let's go home."
Moral of the story: if he treats you like a biohazard but treats his assistant like a buffet, congratulations, you're not his wife, you're just his quarantine zone. Time to disinfect your life by removing him entirely.